I'm gonna take on a probably a more fun and relaxing topic this time around, and talk about life outside of trading. So, um, the question I guess for you is, why do you trade? Are you trading to get out of a job, or are you trading to, you know, do something else, right? And for me, I trade because I don't want to work, right? So this is my full-time job, if you like, and it affords me a lifestyle that few people want, or few people can only get, but many people want. And essentially, it is a business all on its own. I trade and I make money. If I don't trade, then I don't make money. But again, at the end of the day, it's all about what you need, right? For most people, depending on where you really live in the world, making $4,000 to $5,000 a month is enough to live. And I mean, live comfortably as a middle class person, as opposed to being extremely rich driving a Porsche or a BMW, right? But that's the whole thing, right? If you're a young person and you're getting into this trading gig because you think it's cool, or you think it's going to be the pathway to being rich, then that's a noble pursuit, and that's what a lot of people actually do as well. So you gotta really look at what trading means to you, right? Whether it's something, whether if you're retired and you really want something to do, and that's great. For us, we even have clients who are retired, and this is just their way to spend a few hours each day, right? And then they probably go on to do other things. My typical day, right, when I'm not when I'm not helping clients or helping students, um, my typical day is about 2 hours of trading, and then I don't do anything. So essentially, I wake up around 10 or 11 in the morning, and I'm talking because now I'm currently in Asia, so I can do wake up at 11 in the morning. But if I'm primarily speaking, when I was still back in the States, I'd be waking up around 6, getting ready for the U.S. market open, trade probably between 6:30 and 8 a.m. to the specific time. So that's 9:30 to 11 a.m. Eastern or New York time. And that's basically it. And I go back to sleep and then wake up around noon and then just do whatever I want. I go to the gym, go swimming. Like I said, just spend time with family, and friends. So essentially, right, if we didn't have equity sense, helping, trading people, whatever, I literally would just be spending 2 hours a day trading. And of course, there's the odd weeks where it's just so headline driven, and kind of like this week with all the North Korea China stuff, and you trade those. But those events, I mean, they come and go, and typically you don't spend more than half an hour to an hour trading those. So if you're new, it's expected that you're still spending 5 6 hours a day, even 12 hours a day, really looking at the charts, learning, taking it all in, understanding what's going on, right? Trying to understand and deciphering all the inputs that you're getting from the market. But when when you're experienced, right, you become more efficient. That is always the expectation. As you become more experienced and more used to what's happening, you become very, very proficient and efficient. If you are still very inefficient after 2 or 3 years, then that's going to be your problem, I suppose. But in essence, I really have to say that it took me about more than 2 or 3 years to really get comfortable and really get into that sort of groove that I understand now how the markets, typically work. There's always, every day you're always getting fed BS, and you have to decide whether that BS is something you can trade off of, right? And at the same time, the one thing that I've always seen from new traders, that they think that they can learn this stuff overnight, and they think that they can just be an overnight billionaire, with trading. Probably only have, even if you look at the Bitcoin, right? It took them about 2 or 3 years to be Bitcoin billionaires. Let's just be realistic, or Bitcoin millionaire. It took quite a while. Success takes time, and I think I'll end with that idea, with that statement, that success takes time, and you really have to believe in yourself, and you gotta really learn and enjoy the process at the same time. It's, for if you're a very impatient person, you're going to have to learn patience in this game, because again, success takes time. You got to learn the ropes and understand how this whole world works. there's only so much your brain can handle, unless, like I said, you're, a super genius level person that you can just kind of understand everything. But it does take time to really do well in this environment. And it's important that whether you're learning how to trade via an instructor or you're on your own, both still will take time. I think having an instructor can probably shorten your study period considerably. Of course, that's also dependent on whether or not your instructor is a very competent person. If he or she is incompetent, it's just going to even set you back a few more years. So learn to be patient and also to accept that it does take time to really do well in this. It's going to cost you quite a lot of money. Whether you're going to do it the free learning route or the paid learning route, it's still going to cost you money, whether or not, and whether whichever pathway you choose. But ultimately, if your goal, right, is to really succeed, then everything that you do is a learning process, or is a learning experience. And you need to accept that that's going to be the path that you have to take. And again, you will do well if you allow yourself to do well. Ultimately, where people always suffer in trading is when they see something and they are too impatient to let it, to make things work. Trading takes a lot of time and patience, folks, and you need to have that. Otherwise, you're going to end up suffering quite severely when you're looking, when you're trading and all that stuff, right? So I hope this message, makes sense to you. We're going into a long weekend. You also have to look at this, right? If trading occupies 80% of your life and you're no longer able to enjoy reality and life, that's not healthy either, right? I don't know of anyone who spends all their time trading who hasn't burnt out, or who hasn't missed key milestones in their lives, right? So for me, I became a trader so that I can free up a lot of my time, right? When I was working as a normal guy, I was working 8 to 6 p.m. every day, and I would come home at 7 exhausted and just pissed off that I spent good hours of my day, working, right? Whereas now as a trader, even though sometimes it can be sporadic, I haven't spent more than 3 hours in a day actually, trading. I actually do spend a lot of my time going out, looking at things, to the point that I'm like a regular at like the gym, the mall, or whatever, and people are like, "Do you even have a job?" So, that's the thing, right? That for me is the um the gauge of me achieving what I've always wanted, having a lot of my time to really experience life. Because, you will know one day if you experience some sort of tragedy or health scare, and you will understand the fragility of life, right? I've had my own health scare, and I've had people around me who are currently having, health issues. And that's what I'm trying to say, that we all spend all our lives, we waste our health so that we can be rich, and then we become rich, and then now we spend all our money to be healthy again, right? So I'm not trying to be altruistic or sort of guru-ish or anything, but you'll get what I mean. Maybe you're still young, maybe you're a teenager, maybe you're still in your 20s, you feel invincible. I've been there. But one day when you will eventually have issues, you'll understand what I'm trying to say. And it's better to be warned and to be told that these things can be expected, as opposed to just kind of thinking that you're never going to have to face difficult issues in your life, right? Um, so ultimately, again, this life has to be enjoyed. I really need to emphasize that to everybody, that trading is just something we do so that we can get more in life. I really hope that trading is not life. Okay, trading is something you do so you can have more, get more out of life, but not trading. But trading is not your life, and it shouldn't be your life. If it's becoming your life, and you're ignoring or neglecting the world outside, then you might have to rethink your priorities, right? So I hope you guys have a wonderful and safe weekend. Take care, and don't forget to, be thankful for everything that you have in your life.